Gender ideology isn't just a neo-religious cult, it's a biotechnical warfare in drag, like a multi-headed hydra with claws in every corporate sector. Now, the thing that really bothers me most about a lot of these transphobic groups is just that the iconography and imagery they use for trans people is just so much cooler than like what trans people come up with. I mean, a trans flag hydra? That's so cool. That's just a really cool imagery, and it's always really funny when the accidental allies are just that they make trans people look more cool than trans people did. Special thank you to my YouTube members and patrons that support the channel and support my content. How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to another subreddit video. Today we are going to be once again returning to r/AccidentalAlly, the place where transphobes try and be transphobic, and they're not very good at it, and they're never very good at it, and it seems like they're only getting worse. So we're gonna take a look at that today. Very quickly before we begin, I just wanted to mention that I will be live on Thursday over at my Twitch, as I am every Thursday, and they are uploaded to my Twitch, not to my Twitch, they're uploaded to my YouTube channel the day after, Blue the Nerd Live, so you can catch them there if you couldn't catch it live, if you wanted. The other thing I very quickly wanted to mention is that tomorrow, me and Leo are finally going to get the cat that I talked about. We're finally driving down to get the cat. I mentioned that we were getting a cat like months ago, and then it didn't happen. We just got ghosted by the breeder, but we're finally getting the cat. So technically, as of this video coming out, I will already have had the cat, and people in the stream that happened before this video will have seen the cat, so you get little sneak peeks if you watch the streams. Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking now and we'll actually get into the subreddit, shall we? Gwen Stacy is trans. No, she's not. She's a girl. Yes, a trans girl. That's the point. I don't know the actual law, if it's like confirmed that Gwen is actually trans or is just like an ally, but either way, the Spider-Verse films are so good. They're in like my top 5 films of all time. They are just so good. So the fact that trans people get representation in those films, chef kiss. Cherry on top. Hey, women, have your husband go into the public bathrooms with you from now on to protect you. This is honestly the best solution. They may be needed to protect other women too. What you're describing here is gender-neutral bathrooms. Congratulations. But also, right, hear me out, crazy idea. You can have gender-neutral bathrooms and still not need to be protected by your husband, right? You know how? We get rid of shitty cubicles that do nothing for privacy. Problem solved. We replace them with, you know, systems that already exist and have been proved to work, like rooms or floor-to-ceiling cubicles with proper locking doors. Either works. Ha 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 ha. You're a dude. True. Wait, what? So I believe the context here is that Kai is a trans man. So good job, transphobes. The We Can Always Tell crew, proving once again that they can definitely always tell. I mean, they can tell because Kai is in fact a dude, and that's what they could tell. So, you know. The LGBT flag is like the modern day Jolly Roger. It's a declaration to the world that you stand against order, civilization, and goodness itself. Once again, like, way to make trans people and queer people just sound badass. But also, like, do they forget exactly what the Jolly Roger stood for and pirates in general? Like, that era was awful in terms of overbearing government violence, you know, slavery, like all of this stuff going on was horrific that drove so many people, like more people than ever, into things like piracy and crime, like as a rebellion against the way that society was and how it treated people, and the fact that it was like one of the best ways for these people to make money. These people would rather fight an actual military and kill people to make money, risk their lives in warfare at sea, than have normal jobs in this society. The idea that they're standing against order and civilization is like, probably, yes, because order and civilization was horrific and dehumanizing, and that's exactly the point. Chad Bonzo was always a male. Is this reverse transvestigation? Apparently so. Also, transvestigation is so stupid. And like, obviously you guys know it's stupid. And I don't really need to say that it's stupid, but it just is. Like, the idea that you can get a drawing of two skulls, one being male and one being female, and that those two skulls are just going to be a one size fits all for all people that are either male or female is just fucking stupid. It's just dumb. Humans vary so wildly in shape and size and like just everything, you know? People have different bone structure. Bone structure is literally a thing that people decide contributes to what makes someone attractive or not, which is why so many celebrities considered attractive have very sharp angular bone structure, as opposed to me, who has quite soft round bone structure, you know? But that doesn't mean that, like, I am therefore not biologically male because I have different bone structure to Timothée Chalamet. No. People have different bone structure. I mean, I'm non-binary, so like, while I am biologically male, I don't identify with male, but that doesn't change my bone structure. But bone structure is meaningless. And there's a reason why archaeologists, when digging up bodies and bones now, very rarely refer to bone structure to determine someone's gender, because it's actually inaccurate, because it doesn't fit all. People from different countries have different bone structure. It varies in so many ways because it's genetic. I likely have similar bone structure to family members on my mum and dad's side. That's just how genetics work. It's got nothing to do with my gender. I'm so happy right now. I had my first transgender surgery today. Laser hair removal session. You will never be a man. Once again, just transvestigators are stupid. Transphobes are stupid. Even based on this post alone, without context, okay? Without knowing who this person is or seeing any of their other posts, there are context clues I can pick up from this post alone, from this 3-line post, okay, which would tell me the direction they were going, okay? This very clearly is a trans woman, and you know how I can tell? Because they got laser hair removal. Like, yes, there are men who are not very hairy, and there are men who prefer to not be hairy, and that's fine. But like, statistically speaking, if a trans person is having laser hair removal, they're probably a trans woman. The fact that the We Can Always Tell crew is like incapable of even picking up on a context clue that obvious just shows how stupid they are. This one's just a funny little goofy one. I originally read that yogurt pot as saying lady. I realize it says Lodi? I don't know. It's not English. But that's just the trans flag on that yogurt pot right there. Very obviously just the trans flag. Nice little accidental ally. A subtle one, a cute one that like isn't politically motivated. They clearly didn't know what the flag was. Just made a design, put it on their pot. Easy. I'm officially 5 years post top surgery today. Happy traniversary to my Gucci nips. Mentally ill biological male. This fool doesn't even know how to be transphobic correctly. Again, just the obvious context clues. I don't know who Steph or Queer Murphys, whatever you're gonna call this person is. I don't know who they are. I've not seen them before. However, if they got top surgery and they're saying that they are trans, what do the context clues there tell you? Do transphobes even try? Do they even try and understand what point it is they are trying to make? Because like, if you're gonna try and be deliberately transphobic to someone, the least you could do is put in like the tiniest amount of effort, you know? It would require so little effort to pick up on any kind of context clue here to understand what this person is saying. Any kind of context clues here. It's not hard. They had top surgery. They have a beard. Do I need to say more? There is no such thing as a trans man. Period. End of subject. Yes, there is. Period. End of discussion. A trans man is still a fucking man. Get over your mental disorder, please. I agree. A trans man is a man. Thanks for being so open-minded. Yeah, congratulations. I mean, I, to an extent, agree. Life would be so much easier if we did get rid of the titles, you know? If instead of a trans man having to identify as a trans man, they just identify as a man. They just tell everyone they're a man. Everyone agrees that they're a man. End of story. Same with trans women. Same with non-binary people. We can just get rid of the trans titles and they can just be men, women, neither. Both. Solved. Like, they're descriptions that exist because it helps to have descriptors, right? You know, just like you'd have a descriptor for anything else, you know? But like, they don't need to exist for a trans man to still be a man. They can just not exist. We are not cis. We are gender atheists and refuse to be labeled by the sexist jargon of your religion. First of all, if you're going to talk about etymology, the least you could do is understand it. Gender isn't a religion. I don't need to say that, but like the etymology here, okay, they say they're gender atheists. Atheist comes directly from the word theos from Greek, meaning God, meaning you don't believe in a god. If you are saying you are gender atheist, you're saying you don't believe in gendered gods. Doesn't make sense. So assuming you're instead saying that you don't believe in gender because you think that atheist just means you don't believe in something, then you're saying you're agender, which means you don't believe in gender. I'm just saying. They're just here saying, we're agender. We're not cis, we're agender. And like, congratulations on coming out. I'm sure that took a lot of courage to do. But just learn etymology. It's not hard. The word cis, right, isn't some sexist jargon made up by queer people. Again, it has roots in etymology, meaning the same as, or trans meaning across from. So cisgender, meaning you are the same, your gender identity is the same as the sex you were assigned at birth. And transgender, meaning you have traversed. You are across from the sex you were identified at birth. Your gender identity no longer aligns with that. It's really easy to understand. Etymology is really, really not hard. And you can just Google it. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But it's not. Gender atheist makes no sense. If you don't believe in gender, then that's a different thing entirely. And that would make you agender. When dating apps aren't working, so you go into the men's bathroom acting cute. You're allowed because you're trans. Born and will always be a woman. We can always tell. It's not hard to tell. You called her a cis woman, dog. She's trans. Boo-hoo. You're wrong though. You literally cannot tell. It's just, again, the context clues and the doubling down. Like, we can always tell, but you can't, and you're wrong, and this person's telling you why you're wrong, and you still don't get it. They still don't get it. It's hilarious how completely oblivious these people can be. Like, they are so incredibly oblivious when they're being directly told to their face exactly what it is that makes them wrong, and they still don't get it. They still don't understand. It's hilariously embarrassing. And the final post, we're ending on an interesting one here to bring up a little discussion. Read a biology textbook. Okay, gender is not the same as sex. Biological sex refers to the anatomical and physiological phenotype. Gender is a category assigned by the individual based off behavior and cultural practices. One's gender need not coincide with one's biological sex. No, you can't use a modern textbook. So sex is a biological reality and gender is made up? Got it. That's exactly what we've been saying! Sorry headphone users, but yes, that's the point. Biological sex exists, okay? But as science is showing more and more as of late, that's still not a binary because it just isn't. But ignoring that, gender and gender identities are made up. Culturally. That doesn't mean they don't have real world effects both mentally and physically on people, but that the point is, as a construct, gender doesn't need to associate with your sex, okay? The way you identify and the way you present yourself has nothing to do with the sex and with the genitals you were born with, because it's a made up construct. Appearance and how we want to appear and who we want to be is a construct that is made up. Where we work on in our physical appearances, the way we talk to each other, the things we enjoy, who we associate with can all be changed. All of them can be changed, and none of them are bound, okay? They can be as fluid or as static as you want them to be, because it's a construct, because they are all made up. And the idea that men appear and act in one way and women appear and act in another way, and that has to relate to your sex that you were born with, is nonsense. It's meaningless, and it is societal norms that have been put on us by people that don't care about you, that don't care about the way you identify. They just want a status quo that supports their narrow beliefs, because at the end of the day, it's all about control, okay? A lot of this heavily rooted in religion. Big religions being known to very much want control politically. Draw the conclusions there that you would like, but it is true, okay? The whole view on gender identity and gender roles and people acting and dressing and being the ways that aligns with their gender was by and large entirely enforced by a religion that decided that they should only translate their book into a language that the masses can't read. I'm just saying. We are hundreds, if not thousands of years past that point now, okay? Plenty of people don't even believe in that religion. So using that religion and the laws it enforced as a way of controlling people and how they identify and present themselves is meaningless. And it will always be meaningless. And that is where I'm going to end the video. I hope you have enjoyed. Ah, boy. If you would like to support me in making more content like this, then I have a Patreon in the description down below, or equally you can click on that join button on the channel to support me. It helps a lot more than you might realize, especially right now as the company I work for went under, so I lost my job. So it genuinely helps. The support is a big help right now, so I appreciate it, honestly. A huge, massive special thank you to all of the patrons and YouTube members that do support me. All of your names are on screen right now, and it genuinely means so much. And again, it genuinely helps so much. Like, more than half the money I make off of YouTube comes from YouTube members and patrons, so it does genuinely help. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed, and as always, I will thank brain, and as always, I will see you in the next video. Peace out.